Hi everyone, welcome to my review of Shane Black's The Nice Guys in 2016. Here is the Blu-ray, and yeah, basically a rewatch that I saw a couple of days ago now, and I thought, yeah, I'd review this film. It's a one, it's a comedy and a kind of film that a standalone film that I really wanted to review. Shane Black, I've not actually seen any of his directed, the films he's directed, even Iron Man 3, and I've not actually seen Iron Man 2 or 3, but yes, I have seen, of course, Lethal Weapon 1 and 2. Now, Lethal Weapon 1 is one of my favourite comedies of all time. That's another buddy cop film. The second one is a really, really good film, really worthy sequel. And the writing in them films, is one of the things that really makes them so amazing, and especially the first, and of course Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, just really amazing. And this film, is written and directed by Shane Black, and yeah, basically, I always wanted to see it, when I heard about it. I heard it was, really acclaimed, and some had said, it's one of the best of the year, if not their favourite, a couple of people had said. And, a lot of comedies now, I think, they're not, as good as they used to be, certainly not, and, it's just not much. There's a lot of crap comedies coming out, now, and it's kind of, it is kind of cliche to say Adam Sandler films, kind of a lot of the bad stuff that's coming out, but it's true. I absolutely think some of the worst films ever made. From what I've seen, bits of Jack and Jill and everything. But there is some great comedies out there if you look, and this is one of the ones that I really look forward to seeing. And yeah, I love Ryan Gosling. I think he's one of the best actors today, and Russell Crowe, at his best is even better. A Beautiful Mind, for sure. Absolutely stunning performance in that. So kind of on paper it really was something that I thought I could really like. I turned out absolutely loving the film, and I think it's one of my favourite comedies of the 2010s, definitely. And what a film! It's a stunning film. I love buddy cop films when they're done well, and this is really done well. This is a great film for me. As I expected, the writing is so good. In this film. All the kind of gags, in this film are just so good, as well as the performances. Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling, it makes for such an enjoyable pairing. There's the basic plot. I'm not going to get into really. It's a bit, you could say a bit. If I explain it, it would probably sound convoluted. But it involves this private eye, played by Ryan Gosling. This is 1977 in LA. It's kind of set, and Russell Crowe is an enforcer, and these two team up, very early on. Ryan Gosling, and his character's got a daughter in the film, Holly, and she joins them as well, on their kind of missions. They team up, and kind of this people that go missing. There's kind of this porn ring going on. There's kind of these, there's corruption, all this kind of stuff, and there's a couple of guys, that are on their case and everything, and yeah, they go looking for this missing girl, Amelia. But it's not as it seems. It's very, very quite a lot of twists and turns here and there. So I'm not going to get into the plot. That's all you'll get for the plot. The rest of the time, you can just watch the film to find out. Because basically, as a film though, as a comedy and as a an action film as well, it's amazing. That's all you need to know. The writing in this film, as I said, is stunning. It really has a flow to it as well. The editing is great, and a lot of the time, there's some really funny comedies, here and there if you look nowadays. But a lot of them aren't, greatly directed. The way they're shot and everything, edited. This one is. It's one of the rare ones actually that is really amazingly made. In terms of filmmaking, and it is actually really artistically shot and all this kind of stuff. And it's not just lazy kind of cheap humour or anything like that. It is really, really. So well done, Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe in this film, both amazing. I loved both of the characters. The kind of, the way they team up in this film is very, very enjoyable. As well, I loved Holly as a character; she was great. And yeah, some of the villains in the film are actually really good. I didn't care too much for the character of, Amelia, and I think there was one or two flaws with of her character when she's kind of talking. In one of the scenes, and yeah, it's just it has a few flaws here and there, and it doesn't quite reach a masterpiece status for me. It doesn't quite do that, but this film it is so good. You know, the pairing between these two characters, so good. And Russell Crowe, you know, for me is better in this film. Even better. I absolutely loved him. I think, you know, Ryan Gosling is amazing. You know, he's hilarious in the film. So many, you know, standout moments with him, and you know, when it's together, it is, you know, at its best. But you know, Russell Crowe, there's something about, you know, the way it's dry humor, you know, in this film is so good. Just the way he's serious when he says certain things, makes it even more funny. You know, he doesn't. You could say he doesn't quite try as much as Ryan Gosling. Not that that's a bad thing, but yeah, for Ryan Gosling. But you know, I think, you know, if I had to pick, Russell Crowe, you know, is even more funny. I think just the way, you know, there's certain moments where in the film he says, like, for example, there's something funny going on here, you know, and it's a scene in the car, and it's just hilarious the way he says it, because you know, he's kind of really, really serious when he says it, and it's just, you know, really, really funny stuff. And just, you know, the way, yeah, just the way he kind of, the irony there, you know, you could say that sense, the way he is really, really serious and kind of grumpy and stuff. But you know, when he does certain things in the film, it's even more funny and kind of natural, you could say. But yeah, you know, usually Russell Crowe, yeah, he doesn't really do much comedy, you could say, but it just shows he can be, you know, hilarious. Because even, you know, in a lot of the films, you know, I never really that I see of him, you know, other films, you know, I don't really think he looks, you know, like he doesn't, you know, he doesn't make me laugh just from things he says. But in this, even when, you know, it's not like meant to be a really funny scene, you know, it kind of his expressions and everything, you know, it kind of looks, you know, he's just got a funny face in this film, it seems, and of course, it's of course down to the performance, and yeah, it's just amazing. The writing in this film, you know, is really amazing. Very consistent, you know, it's really, really well directed. I think, you know, it does falter a tiny bit. You know, after the hour mark, there's a couple of bits which aren't quite as good as they could have been. You know, the bits with Amelia when she's actually talking, you know, in the film. Yeah, she, you know, it could have been a bit better, and it doesn't, you know, elevate or anything to a masterpiece level, not quite, but definitely a great film. You know, I think the use of music really is you know, conveys the time period really, really well, and just kind of, as well, you know, certain scenes, it just gives it this really, you know, loads of energy kind of thing, and amazing feel, you know, kind of nostalgic feel to it as well, and you know, kind of the 70s kind of tiny porn industry kind of thing. It does taps into that slightly as well, and of course, you know, the way it parodies different films as well, and it kind of course, kind of like, you know, Lethal Weapon, definitely, of course. There's the obvious one, but you know, not quite as good as the first Lethal Weapon, but it is better than the second one for me. And you know, not that they're in question, you know, because they're not, you know, written by Shane Black, but, and of course, you know, Lethal Weapon 3 and 4, they're not that good at all. They're quite bad for me. You know, it's much better than them, and you know, so yeah, you know, I think it's definitely one of the best buddy cop films I've seen, and it's a amazing comedy. You know, really just such good writing. Performances, you know, kind of all round really amazing. Apart from a couple of side characters here and there, but yes, you know, they're minor things. This is still a great film, and you know, the action in this film as well. You know, it's kind of life. You know, like Lethal Weapon 1. You know, it's got amazing action as well as comedy. You know, it's kind of the you know, car chases and everything. Even the opening scene actually is really amazing. The kind of you know, set piece there. But the gunfights throughout the film and all the hands to hands, you know, are so well put together. You know, they're just amazing action scenes, and as well funny action scenes. You know, and that's key, isn't it, in comedy? You know, the way that it's kind of slapstick. You know, Ryan Gosling, you could say, has more of the slapstick in the film. You know, because he's kind of the one that is more kind of bumbling and kind of clumsy in the film, you could say. And yeah, you know, the slapstick in the film is so well done. You know, it really adds to there. You know, the bit where he rolls down the hill, hilarious. And yeah, you know, it's got great comedy. You know, through editing, through the action scenes, the dialogue, and just the performances to match. You know, so it's a you know, it's a great comedy film. It really succeeds in what it's trying to do. The way it parodies, you know, different genres as well. the way it calls back, to classic comedies, and kind of the warmth of the film and everything, the heart, really is there, and it's kind of pulpy and everything, and it's very much an indie film. That's great. It really, I love the feel of this film. It has a really good, callback. Of course, it conveys the time period really amazingly well. The sets and all that kind of stuff. Great. The costumes. Even just the color tones and everything, give it that nostalgic look to kind of going back to that period. It does that amazingly well. And the side characters, in particular Holly, mostly really amazing as well. I think she's great. Really great character. I loved the relationships she had with, of course, her father in the film, and then Russell Crowe. His character, really really warm and touching, and it does actually have really good character development as well. In that sense, and yeah, I'd highly recommend this film. It's better than I thought it would be actually. When I watched it, and yeah, I can give this film a 95%. I think it's a great film, and it's it has got a couple of flaws. As I've said, a couple of bits really after the hour mark. Kind of just a few scenes here and there that aren't quite aren't quite great. Amelia's not a great character when she's in the film. But yes, it doesn't. It's not going to elevate. It doesn't elevate for me anyway. To a masterful level. But it is really amazingly written. The screenplay is really just it's really sharp, and the characters, across the board really are great. I really got engaged by the plots, the way that was told, and just the time period. It's just really, really amazingly shown, and yeah, it just has a really warm feel to the film. And the action scenes, and just how thrilling it is. It's really intense, while at the same time being hilarious, and that is just it's hard. At times hard to do that, but it really is. Shane Black really knocked it out of the park here. And, the rest of his filmography, not stuff that I really massively look forward to seeing. The directed films, especially The Predator. That doesn't look great. Of course, he was in the original Predator as an actor, and he's an actor as well. But yeah, he's mostly known for his kind of writing and directing now, of course, as well. And yeah, I'll probably at some point check out the rest of his filmography in terms of directing, but not kind of desperate there. But this is a great film, great comedy. An amazing buddy cop film that I loved. I just love the pairing of these two, two actors here. Just an amazing film. Highly recommend it, and of course, it looks amazing on Blu-ray. The visuals in this film, really really great actually, and it's a comedy film that doesn't have gross out humour. Lazy writing that is a lot of prevalent in a lot of modern comedies, and it is actually really amazingly directed, and shot and everything. The editing is very very sharp, and just the framing and everything, it is really immaculate a lot of times. And yeah, despite its flaws, still love the film, and it is a great one, and definitely it's one of my favourite comedies, of the 2010s, and it's quite rare for me to absolutely love, comedy film now. It comes out today. I do much prefer, classic comedies, by far. Chaplin, Lauren Hardy, all this kind of stuff, and yeah, it's just I think comedy used to be much better, but there is some great stuff, of course, if you look, and this is one of them. This film. An absolutely stunning film, and not a masterpiece, but definitely, a great comedy film, and great action film. It's just amazing, and yeah. Thanks for watching my review of Shane Black's The Nice Guys.